everyone. Today I am here to explain my Capstone project on applied statistics interview grade, in which we have to write any 50 question out of 80 total question, and we need to explain 5 question for the video presentation. So let's start. These are the solution of interview question. I have completed my all 50 question. You can see here. Now moving to first question, that is, what is a vector in mathematics? Vector in mathematics quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. Its representation is line segment with an arrow. Vector has head and tail both. Tail is the initial point and the head is a terminal point. Initial point is where it starts and the terminal point is that where which tell the final position of the point. Here you can see that this is a tail point and this is a head, and this show the direction and this is a magnitude. For example, if a car is moving at 50 km per hour towards north, then it is a vector because it tells how fast magnitude equal to 50 km per hour and with say direction equal to north. The direction of vector is from tail to head. Vectors are represented in bold lowercase such as or using a arrow over the letter A or TF. Vector can also be denoted by the initial and terminal point with an arrow above them. For example, vector AB can be denoted as vector AB. Magnitude of the vector is represented by magnitude A. Vector has length, that is magnitude, and has direction. If a car is moving at the speed of 50 km per hour and it's going towards home, then it is called a vector quantity. Now moving to the next question, that is, how is vector differ from a scalar? Scalar quantity has only magnitude, but vector quantity has both the magnitude and the direction. Scalar quantity can be mass, temperature, speed, but vector quantity can be force, acceleration, velocity. Scalar quantity has only magnitude that tell me how much of something there is, but not the direction. For example, 5 km, 25 degrees Celsius, where vector can is a quantity that has both the magnitude and the direction. It tells me how much and which way. For example, 60 km per hour toward east, 5 meter north. Now, scalar are represented by simple number or the letter like A, B, M, T. For example, speed 40 km per hour, where vectors are represented in bold letter. For example, like A bold, B, or which the arrow on the top. You can also draw a line with an arrow to show a vector. The length of arrow show magnitude and the arrow head show direction. Now, scalar can be added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided like an ordinary number. For example, 40 kg plus 5 kg equal to 15 kg, where vector follow vector addition rule like the triangle or the parallelogram law. You must consider both magnitude and the direction while adding them. Example, if the force act in direction, you cannot just add their magnitude. You must find the resultant vector using the geometry. Here, scalar is a one-dimensional where vector is a multidimensional. In scalar, with change in quality has change in magnitude, where in vector, with change in quality has change in either magnitude or direction or both. In scalar, mathematical scalar operation result in scalar only, wherein vector operation can produce both scalar and vector result. Product of two vector is a scalar, subtraction, cross product, and summation of two vector is also a vector. For example, of the scalar is speed, distance, and the example of vector is velocity, force. Let's conclude the whole explanation and definition with some example for better understanding. Suppose a car is moving at the speed of 100 mph, then it is a scalar quantity because speed is given there, that is magnitude, but we do not know in which direction the car is going. A person is walking towards his home with a speed of 1 mph. Here we can give with both direction, that is home, and also the magnitude. This is that is speed, so it is vector quantity. Now moving to the next question. This is third question. What is a random variable and how is it differ from regular variable? Random variable is something whose value change by chance. We do not know what it will be until the experiment happens. Random variables are used to describe the possible outcome of a random process. A random variable is a real value function that maps each outcome of a random process to the numerical value. For example, when you roll a die, the number that comes 1 to 6 is uncertain. If we call that number x, then x is a random variable because it depends on chance. So, random variable equal to the value that comes from a random event. Now, regular variable. A regular variable has a fixed or the known value that you can find using given information. Let's understand with example. When we roll a die, each time the outcome can be any number from 1 to 6. Suppose a random variable is x, possible value of x can be 1 to 6. It is random because outcome of rolling die is uncertain. In regular variable, let's suppose x equal to x plus 5. Then with this information, we find x that is 5, which is fixed value. Two type of random variable, discrete and continue. Discrete random variable. Discrete random variable can take on a countable number of value. Example, the number of head in a multiple coin flip. The probability distribution of a discrete random variable can be described using a probability mass function, which assigns probability to each possible outcome. Continue random variable. Continue random variable can take on any value in a continue range. For example, the weight of any randomly selected person, the probability distribution of a continuous random variable can be described using a probability density function PDF, which specifies the likelihood of observing value within different intervals. Now moving to next question. This is our fourth question. What is different between discrete and the continuous probability distribution? Discrete probability distribution. A discrete random variable can take only specific or countable value. The likelihood of occurrence of each possible value of discrete random variable is given by the discrete probability distribution. Probability mass function and the probability distribution function are associated with it. For example, if we roll a die, then possible outcome can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All numbers have equal chance, so probability of getting any one of is 1 by 6. Next, second example, the number of students in a class, the number of head when you toss a coin, the probability of each possible value is given by something called the probability mass function, and the total of all the probability allow equal 1. That is a discrete probability distribution because there are only two specific outcomes. Now, the continuous probability distribution. The continuous random variable can take any value within a range. That means the outcomes are uncountable or infinite. For example, include the height of a student in a class, the time it takes to complete a task. Time is a infinite. It can be form of 0 to trillion second, the weight of a person. Here the probability of getting an exact value is 0. So we calculate the probability over an interval. For example, probability of 5 is smaller than height and greater than 6. Discrete distribution are suitable for where outcomes are distinct and countable, such as counting the number of heads in a series of coin flip. Continuous distribution are more appropriate for situations where outcomes are measurement or observation that can take any value within a range, such as height or the weight of individual. This is a discrete and this is continuous. Now moving to the fifth question, that is, what are the some common measures Common measure. What are the some common measure of the central tendency and how are they calculated? Some measure of central tendency are means, median and mode. The mean is the most common measure. It calculates by adding up all the value and then dividing the number of value. Mean equal to sum of value divided by the count of value. For example, the marks of 8 students in a class are 24, 26, 50, 78, 90, 45, 50, 88, 60, 65. Mean equal to 24 plus 60, 20, 26 plus 50 plus 78 plus 90 plus 45 plus 50 plus 88 plus 60 plus 65 divided by 8. Then it came 576 divided by 8 equal to 72. Median. The median is the middle value when data is arranged in ascending or the descending order. If there is an odd number of value, the mid one is the median. If there is even number of value, take the average of two middle value. For example, the data set contains the number 45, 10, 12, 96, 130. First, arrange in ascending order 1, 10, 12, 30, 45, 96. It contains even number of observations. The middle two values are 12, 30. So the median will be mean of these two number 12 plus 30 divided by 2 equal to 21. Now mode. Mode is the value that appear most frequently in the dataset. For example, 5725935. Mode is 5. Thank you.